Tega, Omas, and Zibby, all about the sports and the sports magic right here on the Smooth Breakfast.
Good morning, everybody. This is how you called my name first. You think that I will still not collect my time? You lie. You lie this Monday morning. All right, everybody. Happy holidays. Thank you. And today's edition, hot gossip everywhere. Grass goes. I mean, this is supposed to be a sports show, not the MMA. But what can we say? We are going to take the story to wherever the stories lead us. All right. So this morning on the locker room, we're going to talk Finidi George, Victor Osimhen. We're going to even take your reactions on all that happened over the weekend, and then we're going to talk about the Euros. Some people say it's tactical and technical. I say it's boring. So we'll touch on all of that on the locker room today. But before we do anything else, Zibby, can you tell us how can we be a part of the locker room this morning?
All right, the locker room is brought to you by Dano Milk, and this is how you can be a part of the show. The WhatsApp number is 0809 4440981. You can also tweet or X at smooth981. Hashtag is lockerroom981. And we're streaming live on YouTube, so you can catch that live stream and post a comment on there as well. It's smooth981, that's the channel. And hint, hint, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out.
All right. On that note, let's run through the headlines because the stories are many. Let's just quickly through the headlines so that we take them one after the other.
On the bill this morning, Finidi George quits Nigeria's 2026 World Cup bid in jeopardy. And then Finidi George reacts to Victor Osimhen's outburst in viral video. As Coleman says, Dutch lucky to get away with missed chances. As Bellingham sparkles, as England star takes center stage at Euros. Then Italy too, comfortable in Albania win, says Spalletti. Mbappe, France on a mission as favorites begin Euro 2024 campaign. Then Man United flew to Ibiza to ask me to stay. Erik ten Hag is the one, saying what happened in Ibiza is out in the open. Eriksen scores on emotional Euro return as Denmark held by Slovenia to a 1-1 draw.
All right, so those are the stories. So we know that Manchester United took the pill in Ibiza. All right, let's start from home right here. And who took the pill and who is not taking the pill? From the first story with Finidi George.
Now, spanners were thrown into the works of the Super Eagles 2026 World Cup qualification last week after the double header against South Africa's Bafana in Uyo on Friday and the Cheetahs of Benin Republic, who'd hosted them on neutral grounds in Abidjan 3 days later.
All right, so huge one. I mean, by now, everybody knows what is happening with the Super Eagles. So let me draw a timeline. So immediately after the loss to Benin in Abidjan, of course, heads started to roll. The sports minister said they should give him a technical report. I don't know how he was supposed to read the X's and the O's, but he said they should give him a report on why the Super Eagles are struggling. And then they had a meeting. And so it was from the NFF to the sports minister. At some point in time, George Finidi was called into this meeting. I hear it lasted for 3 hours, and after the meeting, they came out and said they didn't say they were going to sack Finidi George because we had this conversation on Friday. They said that they are going to hire a technical director. So we didn't know whether Finidi was going to answer to the technical director or the technical director was going to answer to him. Well, later on, we start hearing, we see another brief report about some journalists came up with a story that Finidi George actually went into the meeting and was throwing some players under the bus, saying that maybe Victor Osimhen wasn't really injured. He just chilled, came back to Nigeria to flex, and how some players do not answer to other players because they have a big man that is always going to make sure that they feature on the team. So that he doesn't want to beg Victor to play football, yada, yada, yada. There was all that story. And as that came out, there was also the report that George Finidi salary was actually going to be slashed from the 15 million he was supposed to be receiving to 5 million, which is indicative of a demotion. If you slash my salary, even if you still leave the title to me, you have demoted me because I know what it means. You don't slash salary if you add responsibilities. You slash salary if you reduce responsibilities. So demotion. Um, but bottom line, after everything was said and done, I think Judge Finidi sat down in his corner, thought about his life. You know, he really could have been, if I think if he'd stayed on as Aimba coach, he probably could have been celebrating winning the MPFL back to back. But Rangers won it this weekend because Aimba dropped the ball a few weeks after he left the position. So he probably thought of all the decisions he took and he said, you know what? I'm not taking this from Nigerians. Me, I'm shocked because, you know, we don't resign in this country. We die in this position. Or we force you to sack us so that you pay us the penalty. Because if the NFF were forced to sack Finidi, they would have been paying him. But this guy just woke up one morning and said, you know what, I don't need this drama. And he resigned. You can call it the shortest stint. You can call it victimization, but he left. Here is my problem with Finidi George. I don't care whether you believe he was good enough to be Super Eagles coach or not. That's not my concern. I don't even have a problem if you didn't like him as a Super Eagles coach and you think that Finidi George had nothing tactical upstairs. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with how we treat homegrown. I tell people all the time, as bad as we complained about Gernot Raw and Jose Pesero across social media platforms. In fact, even when, can you remember when the Super Falcons coach dragged the NFF like Tiger Jen? These people did not do anything. But as soon as he was a local coach, they rushed and said, oh, we need a technical director. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. It's the way they treat local coaches. It's the thought process. I don't have a problem if you decide that, you know what, Finidi is not up to the job. That is choices, these actions and consequences. The Super Eagles need to go to the World Cup, and they've played 2 games under George Finidi, and they've won one and lost one. So you can question that maybe you don't believe in him, I'm going to sack him. But it's a double standard. As bad as all these, you know, lower bottom pyramid foreign coaches we've had have been, they don't get this kind of treatment. All of a sudden, it's local coach. Oh, let's slash his salary. Oh, let's get technical director. I want us to get technical. I want us to get foreign NFF too. Because them too, they are struggling. Let's get foreign NFF.
Oh my God.
Yes, now it's not their mates that are running Germany, German FA. It's not their mates that are running English FA. It's not their mates that are running Spanish FA. Those ones are making money. They are building brands. And we are not saying the same thing in Nigeria. Let's still get foreign NFF so that everything will balance. So that it will not be gold-plated neck and clay head and clay foot. Let's have everything foreign. Because it's a disrespect he gets. You can argue on social media about this thing, but I've seen it happen time and time again. Once it's a local coach, drama. They can't try this. And I say it every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Bottom pyramid foreigners, they will not try this with them. But it's Finidi George. It's a local coach. Let's disrespect him. So that's where it is. So Finidi said he has resigned. Now the NFF president is saying he's not aware that Finidi has resigned, which is another twist in the tail. He said he'd been saying it. It's from him on social media that he has heard it. He doesn't know. He doesn't. According to him, according to the one of some journalists from the Punch newspaper, he's like, I don't know that Finidi has resigned. It's you people that are telling me that Finidi has resigned. So let's see how this tale will take us to, because at this point in time, Finidi says he has resigned, NFF says he has not resigned. We wait to see how this drama unfolds.
All right, 0809 440 981. That's the WhatsApp number, 0809 440 981. Let's see, we had a message coming through on YouTube, and it was from Padre Pio. Okay, Padre Pio says, Finidi's resignation sets us back. Personally, I'd do what he did too. How do you judge me on just 2 matches? Slash my salary, demote and disgrace me. I'd leave too. And Padre Pio says Osimhen is a GOAT, not the greatest of all time. The other one. If Finidi is wrong, silence would serve. If he's right, the world saw you throw a tantrum and insult your coach. Can he do that to his club's coach? Okay, so
All right. So that's why I said let's take the second story first before we start taking the messages. Let's quickly take that.
Okay. Netherlands, okay, still on Finidi matters. Now it says former Super Eagles coach Finidi George has responded to Victor Osimhen's viral video on social media where he denied accusations of faking an injury to avoid participation in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers.
All right. So this was another fallout of those that the first journalist that came out to say that George Finidi threw some players under the bus. Now, they alluded to the fact that during that meeting that George Finidi claimed that Victor wasn't injured, he faked his injury. That's why people saw him balling in Nigeria. That he now said that he was not going to beg certain players to play for them. Now, according to reports from people that have called some people that were in some of the senior NFF officials in that meeting and have spoken to George Finidi himself, none of that statement was made. Now, George Finidi was saying when it came to commitment issues, he said that some players weren't turning up as they should. Ergo, remember when we're talking about some players getting stranded on Monday at the airport because of the strike? Now,
right, yes.
Camp was open on Friday. The Super Eagles camp opened on Friday. These players didn't show up Friday. They didn't show up Saturday. They didn't show up Sunday. Then on Monday, strike started. So now they are stuck. And they have to start appearing on Tuesday and Wednesday. So he was saying, he didn't even mention anybody's name. He just said, look, that at the end of the day, he cannot force any player to represent Nigeria, which is the truth. You cannot force them to represent Nigeria. You can only invite them. If they say they are not coming, you move on with your life. And so he didn't mention a single person's name. Only for that, somebody probably leaked the meeting to his friendly media house, and the friendly media house added salt, pepper, and crayfish, and just released the news to the public. And then Victor Osimhen went on a rant. Now, Victor Osimhen's rant, I don't even have a problem if he has friends in the media. If Victor Osimhen just set up ring lights, and sat down in front of the ring light, and his friends in the media will ask him structured, well-organized questions so that he can defend his case, I wouldn't have a problem with it. It may be distasteful, but I won't have a problem with the way he comported himself. This guy goes on social media live, and he's not even abusing just Finidi George. He is abusing even fans, and it's real curses, not a well-structured, disagreement. He's like, it will not be well with you. All those kind of things.
Tacky.
Not just to judge Finidi, even to fans. How do you do that? And I saw some people on social media saying, they are human beings too. You cannot gauge how they'll react. No. You react the way you are brought up. If you are badly behaved, you react that way. With all the disrespect that we saw George Finidi get, did you see him jump up, go on social media live and start shouting it will not be well with anybody? No. But he had a reaction. He officially resigned. He said immediately he saw the rant, he even called Victor Osimhen that even if it were true, this thing you are reacting to is a lie. But even if it were true, shouldn't you call me first? That's somebody that has sense. Was he not angry when he saw the live? No, he was. Yes, he was angry. But his reaction was not to also go live and misbehave. Even, let me tell you how bad it was. Ojo Igalo went on the live and said, Victor Osimhen, end this live now. Victor was still going. He was telling people that were even telling him in the room that he will knock them in the head if they keep talking. Yes, there were people in the room telling him that he should cut it, he should stop the live, he should stop the live. He was like, look, I will knock you in the head. Really?
Wow.
Really? What manner of personality is that? You are not angry, you are just badly behaved. So ultimately,
okay, go ahead, Tega.
ultimately, we're waiting to hear back from the NFF what the sanctions will be. I know Victor Osimhen is such a big player, and Nigeria is at a crucial time when they have to qualify. So we're waiting to see if they suspend him, fine him, force an apology out. We're just waiting to see, because at the end of the day, something needs to be done.
All right, we see your messages coming through. We'll take them on the other side. Stay with us. Tega, this thing you said that you react the way you were raised. That is it. Tega, we're streaming live, oh.
That's why I came to show. Yeah, that's why I came to show you. Yes, I know. That's why I came to show you my face. I was like, it will not be well with who? Me that I'm watching this thing. I just turned off the live. I was like, you said, all these things you're saying.
But you see, we have it all coming, because we've had situations where we've always seen this culture of now you must hit back at people.
Yes.
Here now.
Social media will be the downfall of
you know it now. Where you are better than be the bigger person. Nobody wants to be the bigger person any longer.
In the mud is right now.
We're not even saying be the bigger person. Just comport yourself better. His friends were telling him. Are we back? We're back? Okay.
Yes. Okay, I'm asked.
It is still the locker room on Smooth 98.1 FM. Still got Tega and Zibby still here with us. Let's pick up the pace as we go over now to Germany, where information reaching us says Koeman, Netherlands coach Ronald Koeman admitted on Sunday his side were lucky to not be punished for a raft of missed chances in their 2-1 win over Poland at the Euro 2024.
All right. Yeah, he's right. He's so right. Because, when the tournament started, all the big boys were turning up. So Germany stepped up against, what was that, their first match again against Scotland, completely destroying them. In fact, Germany scored the 6 goals in that match. The match ended 5-1, but Germany scored the 6 goals. They scored so much that they even donated 1 goal to Scotland, just to help be a good host of their rivals. And then Spain followed the same mark, and you'd expect that the Dutch will follow the same thing, especially when they have the plethora of stars playing in their front line. My goodness. First of all, they considered an early goal. Then they equalized, and it took them forever to get the next goal. And it was not because they were not creating chances. They dominated possession, they dominated play, they created chance after chance, but they did not put them in the back of the net. Enter Weghorst, the rejected stone. The people that Manchester United told me, that guy, Manchester United people told me that he couldn't play football in his life ever. But every time I see Weghorst in another jersey, he's scoring goals. But Manchester United fans will tell me that he cannot play football. And so he entered again. And a few minutes after he entered the pitch, he scored the winner. And so, yes, I understand why Koeman will be upset, because sometimes it looked like they sacrifice pragmatism for flair, especially with Memphis Depay and Gakpo, because they were the ones that, chances fell to, and somehow they just didn't put it in the back of the net. So I understand with him, yes. Koeman is saying this because, yes, we got away with 3 points against Poland. But if we're going to be going further in this tournament, he's not looking at them maybe even in the group stages. He's looking at them squaring up against teams like, Spain and England, the other favorites, and France. And if you don't bury your chances, then you find yourself dumped out of the tournament. So I like the fact that he's ringing the alarm bells early, because they could just as easily as much as dropped as much as 2 points on the first match. So I guess that what he's telling the press is exactly what he's going to tell them in the locker room, that, what, ultimately we got away with 1. That's it.
Yeah. Now let's go through the 3 lines there. Well, Bellingham is in charge. Jude Bellingham showed why he has been hailed as the key to England's Euro 2024 challenge, with a masterful display capped by the winning goal in their 1-0 victory against Serbia on Sunday.
I would say this. When I saw the England squad, I was like, good squad, but very bad driver. So you know how you buy a new German car and then you hand the keys over to your toddler and say, drive. that's pretty much what's happening with England now. The coach is not. It seems to be the problem, because if you look at the England team, you say this is a solid team that is good to go, and the way the team was set up, I think it was yesterday their match was played. The way the team was set up, it made Harry Kane and Phil Foden not really come into the game. Even Harry Kane had to drop deep to have some impact. But Phil Foden, I just want to say, when you watch him at Manchester United, I've heard some people say many things and compare him and put down Bukayo Saka and just to exalt Phil Foden. I'm like, tree near tree, and I make monkey look smart. Because now that they put him in another team, and this is not the first time that he's falling or failing in the England squad. I saw Bukayo all over the pitch. In fact, there was one chance that Serbia had in the second half. Serbia came in the second half, they were pressing so hard to get the equalizer and maybe even the winner. But there was one chance in the second half. The last man defending with Pickford was Bukayo Saka. It wasn't any of the central defenders. It was Bukayo Saka. That's how hard he worked. He worked going forward because he was the one that created the cross that Jude Bellingham scored. And then he dropped deep to help in the midfield when Trent Arnold was struggling. And then he dropped even further to help in defense. That's how much Bukayo Saka walked all over the pitch yesterday before he was substituted. Jude Bellingham, of course, scored the goal. He was also very he also helped out, in the midfield. But the likes of Phil Foden, Harry Kane, I will question why they were there. Trent Alexander-Arnold, again, this idea to play him in midfield, Gareth Southgate will lose his job on top of this matter, because I don't understand it. So ultimately, again, England also got away with one because they scored the goal. They were excited, they were happy, and then Serbia came back. And I would say this, Serbia were largely unlucky to not get the equalizer, maybe even a winner, because the way they pressed in the second half, England had no answer. Not from the bench, not from anything. England had no answer. So yeah, England won that game by 1-0. But after watching that game, you start questioning if Gareth Southgate's really the man to bring them home. But who knows? They could improve in the next game and the next game after that.
Let's go on to the next story. Tega.
All right, so let's go on to the next story.
That's it. Looking at Italy now, Luciano Spalletti saw plenty of room for improvement for Italy after his team came back from the fastest goal ever scored in the European Championship.
Yeah, so I would say this. They considered a goal straight from the locker room. It's like the referee said, I'm telling you, it's like the referee blew the whistle and Italy just gave away a goal. Everybody was like, is this how you start to defend your title? What's wrong with you? It was, I've not seen that kind of quick goal before. It was fast.
22 seconds. Someone said
someone said what?
Someone said
22 seconds.
Someone said 22 seconds. The noodle was still inside the microwave, and then
I'm telling you, we just came out of the locker room goal. Italy, what's happening now? And again, those are one of the things that you don't quickly attach to it, the Italian side, conceding goals easily or conceding goals quickly or early. But they did. The good news for them is that they were able to come back and get 2 goals. I would say this though. So far, I haven't seen any standout performance apart from the Germans. Even the Spanish, I think they passed the ball a little bit too much. But apart from the Germans, shockingly, I haven't seen any other standout performance per se. I'll say, okay, this is definitely my leading horse to win this. So maybe France would change the story for us today. But yeah, Italy was able to overcome. But I also think that came down to the quality of opposition. Because again, when you're looking at who's going to win this tournament, you start to question who can beat the perennial, big boys like the Frances and the Germans. And when you look at Italy's form and Italy's performance in their first match against the other contenders, it's not a standout one yet. But yeah, he's right. His team showed character in being able to overcome. The thing I worry about Italy is that on their bench, they don't have enough strength in depth. And the legs that they have right now, like Jorginho's legs, I'm not sure it's ready for the kind of football that makes you win tournament. So tough one for Italy. I think he's saying that it's because in their minds they were too comfortable. But I don't think it was just a psychological thing. I also think physically, the core of Italy is aging. And I'm not sure those legs can carry the tournament. But hey, he knows them better than I do.
Bonjour, let's do something for the French people this morning. Before campaign against Austria on Monday, having endured disappointments.
So France, people are waiting to see the French and see how they'll perform. Because if you look at the stars that they have, if you look at the team that they have, fantastic team. Even with having one of the next best in the next generation footballers in Kylian Mbappe. So they have the plethora of stars that can give them the result. They also have Didier Deschamps. So you're talking about the guy that has already won with them. So it looks like a complete team. The coach is not bad. The team is not bad. And then you look at the tournament, they've performed here before. So you expect that maybe, just maybe, they can come out of this tournament and do great things. And they're favorites. There's a lot of pressure on their shoulders to come out against, but maybe not Austria, but in the tournament, to just look at the performance and see if they're going to be brilliant. So yes, they play today. I think Austria will not be the test for them, because I think this French team should be able to beat the Austrian team with their eyes closed. In fact, with one hand tied behind their back, they should be able to beat this Austrian team on paper and on the pitch. But I want to see the performance, how well they communicate, how well they pass the ball, how lethal they are, how they create chances and all of that. That will be what will determine if they are in the right form. So we watch them today against Austria and we see them show all these things, and then we are sure that yes, this is definitely the favorite to win. All right, on that note, let's read through any messages that we have before we round up.
Okay,
don't read
messages.
Victor Osimhen's message, please. We don't want to go live with him.
Okay. All right, let's look for others and see. Oh, and you don't want, we're allergic to Osimhen right now, and it's all Osimhen.
No, I said read the messages about him, but don't mistakenly click on his live.
Okay, all right, noted. Biggie from K2 says, well, Victor Osimhen overreacted with his this will affect him badly in the international stage. It was as if I saw Portable talking. But on a fair note, Finidi was not a good coach on the field. Imagine him saying formation is not important. Then Cruz's message says, hi, guys. Oh, okay, was talking about the audio. Sorted out now, Cruz. Thanks so much. And then comes in Dr. Farah Yola saying, I'm not disappointed in what Osimhen did, because he did same to Victor Ikpeba and nothing was done. He will still do worse in future if not sanctioned. And AGK from Ogba says, what is bad is bad. Those who are not supporting was supporting or saying Victor Osimhen is on the right course and misleading him. What Finidi did was, as a chief, as a footballer, is still yet to be scratched by Osimhen. This is a pattern. Victor Osimhen also ranted about Victor Ikpeba just not too long ago for absolutely no reason. So there's a track record there now.
Well, bad behavior.
Bad behavior. And then can you
I told you.
analyze how Sporting Lagos was survived relegation? That's from Toib. Well, Tega, lots of messages this morning.
They still have next week, oh. They still have next week. It's not yet complete. Don't count. They still have next week. It's just that Rangers have won the league this week. Next week, we'll know all the teams that will go down. All right. On that note,
Right. Just hopefully maybe Victor Ikpeba.
no, those ones you not even answer him. That's at the end of the day. Like I said, you can't say I did something because I was angry. Say lie. You react a certain way. I've never seen somebody that is angry and then slap a soldier with gun. No anger, no amount of anger.
There's that self-restraint, right?
All right. On that note, let's take a break. We'll be back on Wednesday with more stories and more reactions. Thank you for tuning in to Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to The Locker Room, and thank you for sending in your messages on YouTube and on WhatsApp.